All right. Thank you everyone for coming to our self-control group. I'd like to begin off with all the clients just giving a brief biography about themselves.
Hello, I'm Henry. I'm 30 years old. I'm an alcoholic. I come from a long line of drinkers, so alcoholism runs in my family. My wife made me come, or she was going to leave me, unfortunately. I live with my buddy who I drink with because she kicked me out for a while now. And I do think I have a problem with alcohol, but I don't think it's as big as my wife makes it out to be.
Okay.
I'm Amanda. I'm 19. I'm a daily meth user. I'm the only one in my family that has a history of drug use. I basically couch hop and I live with friends, and I feel like I'm concerned about my use after my best friend OD'd.
I'm Betty. I'm 45, and I became addicted to alcohol after I had some surgery, and I started using daily. My dad was an alcoholic, and my mom is a non-user. She doesn't drink, doesn't do anything. And I'm here because my kids decided that I needed to come, or they would stop speaking to me.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for sharing. If no one has any new news to start out with, then we will be starting today's session with an actual exercise. I have 2 sets of cards here, and this is a whole group thing, so it's not just individual. So I'll raise the card up, and you'll tell me, I have 2 sets of cards, and on the first set you'll just tell me what it says, and then we'll get to the second set when we get there.
Do we all yell at one time?
Yeah, you can all yell at one time. It's just, this is for your automatic responses. So,
Blue, yellow, red, green.
okay, so that was kind of easy, right? So, on this one, I want you to tell me the colors on the next 4 cards instead of the word, okay?
Colors?
The colors, not the word.
Okay.
And then, not the word, okay? So I'm going to be doing this a little bit faster.
Red. Okay. Yellow. Gosh. Blue.
Green.
Green.
See how that one was a
Oh
little
my
bit
goodness,
tougher?
that was terrible. That's terrible.
So, your automatic response muscle can be strengthened over time. So, you can be thought of a muscle that gets stronger or weaker depending on the task that you do in life. And so this is what that was about. We all have moments in our life where we respond to seemingly automatic responses, or times when we know the right thing to do, but do not have the self-control to follow through. As in, with those cards, you wanted to automatically say the color instead of saying the word.
So that's the muscle we're working on.
Mm-hmm. It's your automatic response. You're working on that. It's part of your self-control. So the first steps are to recognize the areas in life that typically trigger automatic responses, areas where we fail to follow through, or areas where we are weak in responding to a challenge. And we can learn to strengthen our self-control and train ourselves to override that impulsivity or weakness to be able to achieve a liberating self-change. And so it is difficult to delay your decisions when you see something like that. Most often when we act on impulse and with a lack of self-control, it can be said that our automatic pilot is driving. We are responding without making a conscious present choice and following through. And so now I would like to start with another exercise. It's a self-scoring control scale is what it's called, and it should take 5 to 7 minutes. And when you're done, I will ask you questions about how you felt and whether you think this is accurate or not. Does everyone have a pen or a pencil?
I do.
You don't? I got you one.
These are your markers.
Oh, I got a pencil right here.
So I gotta add.
Yeah,
when you're all done, we'll add it up. And this exercise is to give you individuals an idea of your current tendencies to control and consciously choose their actions. And then when you're done, you'll
And add them up.
add them up and then divide by 10. And then we'll go over your...
What?
And divide by 10?
Yeah. And you can use your phone. Or-
Okay.
I like how these numbers switched on me.
Okay,
Okay,
done.
so,
Did you add them up quicker?
Yeah. I got 17.
You got 17. So you divide that by 10 and that's
I don't know what's 17 divided by
1.7. You just moved the decimal.
Oh. Well, that's easy, man.
And then so
1.7. Out of what?
2.1.
what did you get?
A 33.
You got after
So a
divide,
3.3.
you got 3.3. So I'm just gonna put B for Betty, and then Henry, what did you get? 1.7.
1.7.
Amanda,
Amanda,
2.1.
2.1.
2.1.
Okay.
Okay, so basically what this is on you got graded on a score of 1 to 5. 5 being you have extreme self-control, and 1 being you have no self-control at all. Do you guys think that your answers are accurate? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
You feel they're very accurate of your...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your current strength of your self-control muscle?
It is horrible.
You feel you have some things to work on?
Yep.
Yeah. How do you think you can build or exercise your self-control muscle?
How can I?
Yeah, how do you think you can?
Goals.
Goals. Like what kind of goals?
Work the steps. That's what I think. Work the steps.
What's the steps? Like 12 steps?
Yeah,
Or-
12 steps. Yeah, work those.
Okay. Do you want to switch now? I'll come over there.
Well, are you, go ahead.
I'll just walk.
All right, so if everybody's, is everybody happy with their score, unhappy with their score?
I feel it's accurate.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, and you do too?
Yep.
All right, well, Betty is resistant, so Betty doesn't agree with that score at all.
Okay.
Yeah, Betty's very resistant and she doesn't think she belongs here, so, you know, she's gonna fight that. Okay, so if we have nothing else to discuss with those, all right? And we already went through that. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do another handout, and this is strengthening your self-control handout. And the reason, let me do something.
Should I introduce myself?
Yes, we have a new member.
Okay, my name's Huey. I'm 24. I'm an alcoholic. I had a DUI, but I just got my license back. I've been hospitalized twice for alcohol poisoning. I moved in back with my dad after me and my girlfriend split. I do have a family history of alcoholism. My grandfather and my father were drinking. I was pressured to come here because of my family and friends. I feel like I'm ready to make a change, but I feel like I don't have the tools or the support system to do so.
Well, thank you for sharing, and let's see if we can work on that.
Okay.
So now you've got this worksheet in front of you. Where did I go? There you go. Hand it out to everybody. And if you see this, the purpose of this is working on actually gaining working the self-control muscle so that you are able to cope better with any triggers that come along or relapse that comes along, situations. So now it's important to remember that you can build your self-control muscle, but you can't take huge steps. You have to go into things gradually. Say, tying your shoes in a certain way, getting up in the morning and making your bed. So the idea behind this is for you to identify a couple of things that you would like to work on. So if you'd like to fill that out, then we'll do a roundtable discussion when you're done.
Okay.
If you have any questions, just please let me know. So this section, I'm going to go ahead and read if you don't mind, is understanding how your current activities and responsibilities of daily life use your self-control strength. So remember that you have it, remember that it may be weak, and remember that outside activities, things that are going on in your life, like you may be flunking school, or your boyfriend or girlfriend broke up with you, something like that is actually going to affect that self-control muscle and detrimentally. It's going to slow it down, and so when that happens, it's important to talk to somebody and see if there's ways to work past those other situations. If you have any questions, just ask. And remember, nobody else is going to see it, so you don't have to use your best grammar or anything. Even with all these questionnaires and all these worksheets, it's still your disclosure. Do you have a question?
No.
No?
What's the last one?
Identify daily activities and struggles where you are using your self-control muscle to manage your cope. Can you give me one thing that you think it might be?
I don't have idea.
They're just asking you, what is something that you do daily that uses that muscle? Could be not jaywalking. Something that you have to actually think about not doing or doing. Not drinking soda.
Oh, yeah.
From my understanding, this is to change, to manage your cope. It's learning the coping skills that keep you in recovery and from relapse. So even if it's humming, something that helps you cope.
Oh, something that helps you cope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have Henry?
I'm almost done. Are you done?
Yeah.
You both are done?
Is
Oh, man.
everybody done?
We're waiting on you.
Wow. Okay, well,
And that's okay. You can go ahead and finish that. So did anybody else look at the identify daily activities and get a different meaning from it? How did you all take that?
I just thought it was stuff that you already control. Like how you mentioned, like not drinking pop. Like I don't drink energy drinks or pop anymore.
But what do you use to maintain that not using?
Oh, I drink a lot of lemonade.
Okay, so that could actually be one of your coping.
Yeah, and then so like, and I was taking it like to manage your cope or whatever, to use my self-control muscle. Like I took it as in like, so like I do things like deep breathing.
Oh.
Like I'll stop and take some deep breaths or whatever if I'm starting to freak out or get agitated, or I'll go for a drive or call someone I love.
Do you think that both of those though would qualify under that though as coping?
I'd say that qualifies.
Because one is longer term and one is maintenance.
Yeah, and one, yep.
Okay, who would like to start and who would like to share? You want to finish?
I can start.
Okay.
So like for the first one, identify areas where the need for self-control, strength to change your substance use. So some areas would be like family and friends drinking around me or going to bars, having a stressful day or being emotional. Like I tend to drink more when I'm mad or upset to forget why or to deal with it. And then I do a lot of extracurricular activities, but at the same time I drink during those, like during fishing, camping, and so.
So you're not using in those types of activities, you don't think are you using your self-control muscle?
No, I'm not using my self-control muscle. So.
Okay.
And then some things I could do would be finding activities where drinking would be hard.
Yes.
So like, for instance, I put down hiking. It'd be very hard to sit there and drink while you're hiking up the side of a mountain or horn hunting or something, so.
Okay, does anybody have anything for him for a suggestion? For those triggers for him? Things to help him work his muscle?
Go to AA meetings.
Okay.
Meetings. Okay.
And how about you? You got one for him? No? Okay. Would you like to share, Henry?
Sure. Places I need to work on my self-control are my people, my places, and my things. The things that I do in my day that structure the whole way my day is going to be constructed as like my attitude or any of that. I need to focus on positive thinking and not so focus on, oh, I'm an alcoholic, so I can't drink. If I'm thinking I can't drink, that's going to lead to I am going to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it works because you focus on it. And I need to get out of that obsessive mind state of being an addict and the obsession. And by doing that, I find it comforting to read out of the Bible or read out of the big book. Construct something, that's greater than yourself to take away that obsession.
Yeah.
That obsession.
To give you something else.
Yeah, and places I need to work on that are not being so snappy with my wife Because if I get in an argument and I make it big enough, me being a manipulative addict, I can turn that into a situation to go use or go to drink, because I can use their emotional weakness
As an excuse.
as a mask.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an excuse and a mask, because I get them so riled up that they don't want to see me or whatever, and I can use that as an excuse to leave the house and be in a vulnerable situation to go use. And that's something I
Be
have
like,
to
oh,
work on.
I made my wife feel this bad, you know, I'm trying to cope with it, or she made me feel this bad, or we got into this big of a fight, I'm gonna go drink.
Justification.
Yeah.
Justification.
There,
Justification.
that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I need to work
So
on.
if you make yourself, do you feel that if you make yourself aware on, on a daily basis and learn those skills, if you make yourself aware, will that make it easier for you to transfer to that?
If I make it aware, and if in a group setting, if people could call me on when I'm, using an emotional defense or a blocking mechanism, a coping mechanism, for people to be able to call you on that in a group setting is nice. And any of the yeah buts or the, people can spot those out, and that's nice about a group setting. And once I know where my obsession thought pattern begins, because once the obsession starts, you don't realize it, and you're just off into a train that's going to end in the end of an alcohol bottle or whatever. But that's how your train of thought is going, and as soon as the argument starts, you're already thinking, okay, I'm going to use this to my advantage. I have no emotional attachment to this. It's all them. So I don't have a problem. You have a problem with me drinking. And I can use that in my head to go justify my use and all that. And so once you call out those, what do you call them? The beginning stages of the obsessive thoughts. Once you are in a group setting and people can call those out, like, oh, you're getting in that thought pattern, then you can get yourself out. And then once you're out on your own, you have the tool to be able to call yourself out. On that.
So you're saying you're depending on other people in the initial stage of building that muscle, that brain portion, to say this is because you're not recognizing it.
No, yeah, of course.
So when you're not around people, then what do you use?
What are things? Yeah,
What are some of those things that you use for your self-control?
To control your muscle.
Well, when I get in those moods or whatever, I'll
You feel you have to do something? Or...
Yeah, I go make sure, like I said, it all starts out with how you begin your day. I start by making my bed.
Oh, good first task.
When I make my bed, that's good, and then I lead that straight into the shower, and I take a shower and I shave or whatever.
So just little things that lead up.
Yeah,
to
and then
things.
It'll be amazing, because if you roll out of bed thinking, fuck, all I want to do is go use or drink, but I can't because of whatever, you're going to build resentments towards whoever that whatever is, or whatever that whatever is, and especially if it's yourself, you're going to build resentments towards yourself. And when you come home from your day at work or whatever, and your bed's messy, and you didn't take a shower that morning or whatever, it's just that much easier to stop at the liquor store or whatever.
So that's exactly the purpose of building the muscle.
Yes.
Every day that you brush your teeth and you make your bed and simple things that you get to choose, because they're stair steps. They're little tiny steps, maybe seemingly, but they're actually just training your brain. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it helps.
So then, can you identify the daily activities, or we're pretty much like every day, like you said earlier? Every day waking up, starting fresh.
Yeah, the daily activities to help your self-control is, we'll get out of bed, make your bed, go take a shower, make sure you're not stinky, go take your dog on a walk.
Thinking of somebody else?
Yeah, I'm a strong believer in the 12-step program, whatever your 12-step is, NA, AA, whatever. Hit a meeting after you do all those things, because after you do your little progress in the morning, there's always like a wall, almost like how people get that mid-morning tiredness because it's right before lunch or whatever. That wall.
Run out of energy.
When you do that, go to a meeting And that's where those really come into play, because, you know, you hear about a bunch of other people's situations or whatever. It just gives you perspective. And then every time it sucks going to a meeting, but then you leave a meeting and you're like re-energized. You're ready for the rest of the day. And then all of a sudden it's nighttime and you're not bitching. I mean, you're not arguing with your
Complaining,
wife.
yeah.
You're not bitching about your day because you're emotionally like there. And yeah, you don't go home to drink a bunch of alcohol. You go home to go to bed with your wife.
Life. Yeah.
It's all about your attitude.
It's all about training too. Perfect. How about you? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
So the same thing with mood. I find it hardest to control my self-control in the mornings. Like if I wake up and I'm instantly in a bad mood, or if I'm stressed or anything, like that's my first initial, like, oh, I just want to go use and like make my day better. So I feel like that's where I need to change. And my self-control is to like make things better in my mornings. And I can do that by like telling myself I'm going to do something good when I wake up. And like start a routine, like go for a walk like right when I first wake up to get my brain going, or look for other things to do that day besides using and being around all my friends that use, and do all stuff like that. Or like listen to music, which is a calmer for me, so gets my mind off other things.
So you get to think of something different.
Yeah.
So those are your 2 activities that you want to strengthen. 2 goals this week. Do you have 2 goals?
Just to always tell myself something good when I wake up. Like, oh, today you're gonna do this, and then accomplish that, and then add something to a morning routine. Like after my walk, what am I gonna do next, and make it a routine daily.
Very nice. So you know, those are everything that everybody talks about is establishing steps. And nothing big in the big bad world, but it actually is. You know, it's big little steps all culminate into progress. And isn't that what everybody's going for really, is progress? Not, I don't say success, I say progress. Okay, so thank you very much everybody for sharing. We appreciate that. And so now we have done these, and we need to ask, does anybody have anything else to share? Does anybody have anything that they want to talk about that wasn't covered or that is unaddressed?
Called burning desire.
Burning desire?
Yeah,
What's that?
that's exactly what you said.
Like,
But no, I'm good.
Okay. How about you?
no, I feel a lot better after this. It helped me identify when I want to use, what I'm good at, what I'm bad at. And I believe this will help me find a job and get me out of my parents' house again. So
let's try to avoid good and bad.
yeah, yeah.
And let's try and remember progress. You know, not good, not bad really. Forward movement. Sometimes there's pauses, but forward movement. Because when we say things like bad, it's a connotation in our brain and actually stops the growth that we need.
Progression, yeah.
So I'm gonna let you close because mine took longer.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you everyone for talking. And oh yeah.
Don't forget.
And so basically the goals of the session were to introduce the concept of self-control, being akin to a muscle that can be exercised and strengthened through the use of the self-control scale. Assist clients in evaluating their overall needs of self-control, and assist clients with identifying personalized daily exercises that can be used to strengthen their self-control muscle to meet the challenges of recovery. And if no one has any more questions, then I think that's it. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks.